Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar, Increasing Sales by Driving Customer Loyalty. My name is Holly Pels and I'm with Rix Software and will be your moderator for today's event. We have an exciting and actionable webinar ahead of you for today featuring Rix Software's own Brett McGrath and Jimmy Richburg. But before we get started, there's a few things I wanted to cover. Today's webinar will be recorded and will be made available to you after the event is over. For a better viewing experience, all lines are muted. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them in the chat box in your webinar control panel. Due to time constraints, we will answer all of your questions via email following the webinar. I believe that covers all the small details, so I'm going to pass it over to Brett to get us started.
Thanks, Holly. Before we get started, we've seen a lot of customers on the line, but then a lot of new faces too. So just a little snapshot of who we are and what we do at Rix. We're 34 years young. We've got 38 people currently on staff with a variety of backgrounds, retail, technology, and change expertise. We make, test, sell, support, and consult on Rix. So that means if you're a Rix customer, you'll be working directly with us. And we are a cloud-based subscription retail technology service for North American footwear and apparel retail. Just as a quick introduction for who will be presenting today, my name is Brett McGrath, the VP of Go-to-Market at Rix. I've been at Rix for 4 months now, with previous experience in technology companies, ExactTarget and Salesforce, in marketing and sales alignment type positions. A fun fact about me, super passionate about music and founded a music app that connects fans with local bands. Jimmy?
Thanks, Brett. My name is Jimmy Richburg. I'm a solution consultant at Rix. I've been with the company for about a year now, and my role here is to help our clients use Rix as well as their data to help run their business more efficiently. Prior to that, I was with Fleet Feet Sports for 4 years. So before we dive into the content today, we'll review the agenda of the topics that we're going to cover. We'll start off by going over the state of retail, highlighting e-commerce and the shift in customer buying habits. And then we'll move into ways to drive customer loyalty, going through frequent buyer programs, in-store events, and connecting with customers outside of the store. We'll start off by highlighting a state of retail and looking at one of the most prominent trends occurring in the industry, and that is the shift from in-store to online or e-commerce shopping. While e-commerce still represents a fairly small percentage of the overall revenue generated within the retail industry, the greatest amount of growth is occurring within the e-commerce space. E-commerce is showing a 16% growth on a year-over-year basis from 2015 to 2016. Within this vertical, the mobile platform is taking off significantly as well. A big contributor to this is many retailers are creating retail apps or making their websites more mobile friendly to allow customers a seamless retail experience on any type of mobile device. So it's very clear that the change is happening in retail from the in-store experience to more of an online experience, but it's important to identify what are the factors that are driving this change. The answer to that question lies with the customer and how customers are currently shopping. So in terms of customer behavior, 72% of customers now compare products online, 92% of customers now read online reviews, and 68% of customers say a positive review will help them trust a local business more. What this shows is that customers are utilizing data in order to help drive their decision-making when making buying decisions. So it's important to identify the different ways that customers can interact with your business from the digital aspect and how you can help make that touch point a positive experience for them. There's been a fairly significant shift in customer shopping habits. More and more customers are going digital. From 2015 to now, online shoppers have grown nearly 20 million by 20 million people, from 208 million to 224 million. In addition to that, they're also spending more, with spending being up $7 billion from 2015 till 2016. And customers are also shopping online more frequently than they ever have before, with online transactions increasing 115 million from 2015 to 2016. So there's been a shift in buying behavior as well, and customers are now using up to 7 different channels throughout their purchasing decision. It's important to understand this because research shows that customers who engage with retailers on multiple channels end up making purchases more frequently and spend more money each time they shop. In addition to that, 90% of transactions are starting online, but 75% are ending in store. And a lot of this can be seen through what's known as cart abandonment, in which 76% of all shopping carts are abandoned, which is often caused by sticker shock after customers see the total sale price once tax and shipping are applied. The customer expectation has shifted as well. Customers want to be able to have a personalized experience, and they want to be able to get the information they're looking for fast. And as of now, only 27% of consumers feel that retailers are delivering on this expectation. Despite this massive shift to online shopping, customers are still shopping in store, with nearly 90% of purchases still happening in store. However, the expectation for the experience has changed drastically. Customers want a more personalized experience than they've ever received before. So it's important that if you're bringing customers in, to give them an experience that's going to keep them coming back. The reason it's important to have these returning customers is that returning customers spend more and cost less to keep coming to your business. In fact, it costs 5 to 10 times more to acquire a new customer than it does to sell to an existing one. In addition to that, returning customers will spend 67% more than a new customer will. So generating ideas that will help continue to bring customers back into your store is where you're going to see a significant amount of growth. So we've highlighted that there's a shift within the retail industry moving from the in-store experience to online shopping. But despite the change, customers are still looking for a personalized experience that they're getting in-store. And so what you want to strive for is an experience that you just can't replicate online that will keep customers coming into the store, making purchases, and being loyal to your business. So let's talk about different ways we can do that and drive customer loyalty within your business. One of those ways is through a frequent buyer or loyalty program. There are many different options for this type of program, and the most important thing to consider is finding a solution that works for both you and for your customers. Rix alone has 5 options built in that can be used in a number of different ways to allow you to run a frequent buyer program. One of the things we'll highlight here is one of our current clients, Marigold, which is a boutique in Indianapolis, and their end-of-the-year reward program and how they utilize that to help engage both new and the returning customers. At the end of the year, they will use their customer data to analyze all of their top customers throughout the year, and those customers will receive a gift card to the store. They'll also use their customer data to identify any new customers that shop during the year, and each of those customers will receive a handwritten note thanking them for shopping. And they'll also do a gift card for any referring customers who are bringing new business into the store. So a different way of approaching a loyalty or reward program that appeals to both new and returning customers, keeping them engaged and keeping them coming back. Ultimately, what you want to find is how you can maximize a frequent buyer program to win returning customers. As we highlighted, these customers are far less expensive to keep and will spend significantly more money when they're in the store. One of the more common types of frequent buyer programs is a customer will come in and spend a certain amount and then earn a certain amount in rewards points. While this is very simple and can be an effective measure, many retailers find it challenging to get customers coming back as there's a lot of time between when they first start spending, when they earn the reward, and then when they earn the next reward. So you want to think about programs that are going to incentivize customers to keep coming in. And we'll highlight an example of one that you can utilize in your store. An example of a program that can incentivize frequent customer occurrence in your store is creating a tiered loyalty program. In the example here, we have 3 different tiers. And at tier 1, the customer would spend a certain amount and then earn a certain amount in reward points. Once they reach that first reward, they'll graduate to the second tier, in which they would spend an additional amount and then earn a greater reward. And then the third tier in this case was after they've reached a certain lifetime purchase total, they would earn a percentage off of every purchase. So something like this could be, even a fourth or a fifth tier, but the idea is the more customers come into the store and the more they're making purchases, the better the rewards are going to be. So it incentivizes customers to keep coming back, keep making purchases, and ultimately they're going to get more out of that experience. In addition to loyalty programs, as we highlighted earlier, in-store experience is also extremely important. And for that, I will turn it over to Brett.
Thanks, Jimmy. And I'll remind the audience, if you do have any questions, please use the chat panel on the right side of the control screen, and we'll get to those as a follow-up to today's webinar. But another great way to win the customer loyalty and in-store experience is to develop an in-store experience. This is your true differentiation from the online experience and allows you to start the beginning of your customer journey in a highly personalized way. So one of our customers who's doing a really good job at this right now is Fleet Feet Sports in Winston-Salem. So not only do they do several in-store events, but they're hosting a running group. So they're connecting their customers to their peers around something that they're truly passionate about, running. And that Fleet Feet Sports brand is front and center during this experience. Creating demand for your expertise is something that needs to be top of mind when you're trying to create and drive customer loyalty. So part of the reason why so many people still shop in store is to get advice on their purchase. People do research online and they read reviews, but they really want to understand the product and what best fits them from the professionals. So not losing sight on the advice you're able to give your customers and the access to your knowledge should always be kept top of mind when trying to develop the in-store experience. Ultimately, you want to create an experience in store that your customers can't get anywhere else. Gait analysis, fitting, styling, online retailers can give them ideas, but those ideas are generalized and not specific to your customer needs. So one-to-one shopping, advice, and education can all be specific things that you can execute on that will help deliver that one-to-one personalized experience and get those customers back in the door. Training your employees is also extremely important in getting them to understand the messaging to the first-time shopper is different than your long-time customer. Also training on message consistency. You want the message from the business owner to be consistent with what's going on the sales floor. This will really allow you to develop a messaging strategy outside of your four walls. And then tracking frequent shoppers so you can tailor the shopping experience to them and also extend that message outside of the four walls, which we'll talk about in a little bit. In-store events, like reference from Fleet Feet Sports, are extremely important and definitely something that should be tested, whether they're education-based rewards to building a community. From a rewards perspective, it's giving a VIP experience to your most frequent shoppers and giving them some sort of discount during that event. Or it's doing an educational event where your customers get access and see upcoming product line, or word-of-mouth events where you're taking those loyal customers and incentivizing them for bringing new people in your store. Just like anything in marketing, you're not going to know which events are going to work for you unless you start testing, and experimenting. So something that I'm extremely passionate about is extending that in-store experience outside your four walls and executing on different tactics that'll help extend that personalization. One of our customers who's doing an excellent job of this today is a multi-store specialty running company, Pacers Running. So email works for Pacers Running. They're leveraging email communications based on data they're getting from their customers, and that allows them to extend those messages outside those four walls. They're also experimenting with social, so using both paid channels and organic channels. Something cool and innovative that they're doing is a podcast series where they're giving industry-specific knowledge on a regular basis in an innovative new forum like a podcast. And then print publication is something they offer as well, and that really extends this brand awareness and thought leadership for Pacers Running. So whether it's digital tactics like email or social, something new like podcasts, or something more traditional like print publication, these are all ideas to consider when developing your strategy to connect with your customer outside your four walls. Just kind of speaking towards that digital component, you really want to get a pulse on those channels that your customers are visiting on a day-to-day basis and open yourself up to those channels. So whether you're a boutique that's using social channels like Instagram to display a new product, or a specialty running store that's leveraging something new like Facebook Live to show your personality and your product, these are all different tactics that you can begin leveraging. And again, it goes back to the idea of test and see what works. The more you experiment, the more you're going to know which digital channel your customers are at, and then you can spend more time on that. Hosting events with partners is a great opportunity to amplify your audience. So whether you're a specialty running store and you partner with a local brewery for a brew run, or you're a boutique that partners with a brand to host a preview party for top customers, what I like about partnering on events is that it gives you, the retailer, access to a new audience who might not have been in your store. And these co-marketing types of events can really go a long way to drive new customers into your store, and also nurture current customers who know who your brand is. And finally, probably the most important is using data to personalize your outreach. So whatever POS or inventory management system you're currently leveraging, you have access to a ton of rich customer data that should be leveraged in your marketing campaigns to extend your in-store experience all the way outside your four walls. So whether it's segmenting data to create personalized messages and offers to your most loyal customers, or segmenting by purchase history to reach your customers in a new and innovative way, or using frequent reward data to continue to reward loyal customers. These are all important ways you can be using your data to really enhance your customer's journey. So I know we threw a lot at you guys today, but just in summary, Jimmy covered the state of retail and e-commerce specifically, and customer buying shifts. And then we dove into ways to drive customer loyalty, frequent buyer programs, in-store events, and connecting with your customer outside your store. You know, the recommendation today would be take something that, that was said today and just try and experiment, because the more you experiment and try new tactics, you'll realize what resonates best with your customers, and then double down on that.
Awesome. Thanks, Brett. So we want to take a quick second to thank Marigold Boutique, Fleet Feet, Winston-Salem, and Pacers for participating in today's event. As we mentioned earlier, we will be answering all of your questions via email following the webinar. Please feel free to take down Jimmy or Brett's email. And if you think of a question after the fact, please feel free to email them, or you can reply to the emails that you were getting before, hpels@ricksoftware.com. We also have recorded the webinar, so be sure to look for that in your inbox in the next couple of days. And we want to thank you guys for joining us, and we hope you continue to have a great holiday season. So have a great day.